Hello to all my American Horror Story historians. We all know I love this show, and honestly, like any true diehard fan, we could all excuse some pretty bad things. But the episodes of AHS we're about to dive into are some of the most lackluster and uninspired episodes ever. What we will see during this video is that AHS can start off strong, but usually has trouble sticking the landing. While there are some seasons with a majority of bad episodes, I'm looking at you, Death Valley, this list will be kept to one episode per season. Also, not every season will be featured. Yes, fan favorites like Asylum, Freak Show, and Hotel will be safe. Remember, these are just my opinions, so if I included your favorite episode or missed a seriously bad one, make sure you let me know down in the comments below. Alright, enough of this intro, let's dive into the best of the worst. Honorable mention. The honorable mention for this video goes to all of Death Valley. While double feature is not safe from this list, it's hard to pick just one episode of Death Valley, so it's all here. Sorry to the fans of this half season, but this is something I would like to never revisit again. If I had to pick one bad episode though, the season premiere was a giant ball of WTF that didn't do anything for anyone. Number 7. Episode 100 from 1984. Sadly, the hype around this episode, or at least the idea of a 100th American Horror Story, is what really let this one down. Not only is 1984 one of the weaker seasons, but it features some really forgettable episodes. That trend stayed true even when the show was trying to celebrate such a landmark moment. Episode 100 just feels like another episode in an already average season, and this could have used a surprise or two. Going the route of Ghost Who Can't Leave a Location felt lackluster, even though it did lead to some good moments with Montana and Xavier. We were just stringing along that damn Richard Ramirez plot, which is honestly one of the worst of any AHS season. The end moments of this episode were a delight though, mostly because Angelica Ross can literally save almost every episode of this show. Almost everyone. Number 6. 7 Wonders from Coven. Look, I love Coven just like anyone else. There's so much to enjoy, but the season somehow loses some steam as it keeps going. We had the witch hunters and the feuding witches, but the biggest enemy of the whole season were those damn 7 Wonders? While I loved the extended Stevie Nicks music video as much as anyone else could, it felt pointless, just like the rest of this whole episode. This does get points for saving this season from ending on a complete sour note, as the episodes leading up to this were even weaker, but the hype of a season 3 finale and the epic crowning of a new Supreme, you would want this to feel a bit special. Everything felt been there, done that by the end of this season, and not even Jessica Lange in the Naude Pines Cabin Hell could make you really enjoy this one. Number 5. Chapter 10 from Roanoke. Imagine my surprise when American Horror Story really thought a Barbara Walters style interview could sell us on a finale. Yes, bringing back Lana Winters is a cool way to connect this to another season, but the execution leaves so much to be desired. The track record for Roanoke is spotty. Some episodes are reviewed well, while others are downright hated like most of the season. While I dislike it overall, I can see the good in Roanoke to see how bad it could get. Like this one. When Trixie Mattel's cameo is one of the episode's few highlights, you know you're in trouble. Roanoke's final episode adds even more TV references, but forgets how to conclude its main story in a meaningful way. Was it worth it? I want so hard to connect to the Lee and Flora story, but the messy script of this episode doesn't allow you to connect with what could have been a powerful mother-daughter story. Number 4. Valerie Solanas died for your sins, scumbag, from Cult. Holy hell, this entire episode should just be removed from TV history. I can't find a single person who loves this episode. Hell, even someone who liked it would have a hard time trying to defend it. When I was doing my research for this list, I had honestly forgot about the whole scum plot from Cult, but this brought it right back up. This is one of those AHS episodes that could derail a whole main plot just to throw in a flashback-filled B-plot for no reason. And look, I'm not one to just blindly hate Lena Dunham. She did the best that she could with the weak material given to her, and sadly, there's just too much to deal with her in this episode. From shooting Andy Warhol to becoming the Zodiac Killer, this is just filled with so many pointless moments that it feels like Ryan Murphy wanted pop culture references over a strong story. Number 3, Afterbirth from Murder House. Murder House, as dated as it can feel at times, doesn't have too many missteps, but the final episode of season 1 started the trend of lackluster finales. Maybe we should have took this as a warning, but Murder House's ending left us so damn cold. Everything felt like we were backed up against a wall and made to do it. Things like Hayden killing Ben and more Tate therapy sessions were totally unneeded here. The final 30 minutes of this episode is where we really lost most of the viewers, feeling like it was slowly wandering to the final moments rather than briskly taking us there. For as important as Murder House ends up being in later seasons, I think we all recalled a feeling of going, that's it, when we first saw this episode. Still, you cannot deny that constant saying, now what am I gonna do with you, did have some impact to it. Number 2, Sojurn from Apocalypse. A Halloween air date used to mean something for AHS, but this was the end of all of that. What a strange episode for Apocalypse, which led to many of us finally thinking this season had ran out of steam. While many hate the finale, I can't say it's the worst episode or anything. It tried to tie up all the loose ends and it did the best it could with the mess that this episode made. Now this episode is where it really becomes irredeemable. Michael Langdon is a polarizing character, but even his biggest fan could admit his soul-searching episode is a miss. Then we add in way too many characters like the annoying Jeff and Mutt, along with another weird Satan cult, and it just becomes too much. Apocalypse should have been a send-up to all things American Horror Story, but sadly, this just reminds fans of the messy times where the show just adds too much BS to a story you really like. Number 1, Winter Kills from Red Tide. What truly places this so high, well, besides recency bias, is the way that this derailed an entire season in just one episode. While some of the other finales featured here were a letdown, this took an entire season and made it feel pointless. Red Tide was starting to get rocky for a little bit, but with the shortened season, it could have stuck the landing still. It did the opposite by slapping its viewers in the face. We added new characters, rushed through the most anticipated moments, and had an obnoxious time jump at the end. This is like every bad thing you can do in a finale rolled into one, and Winter Kills was so, oh my god, a letdown. One of the worst parts though was waiting for this to introduce the next chapter of Double Feature, and it just gave us a chilling warning that this was going to be the worst thing AHS fans had ever seen. What did you think of my list of the worst episodes of American Horror Story? Do you agree with these 7 episodes? Should I have included another one, or was I too mean to one of your favorites? Share your feelings down in the comments below. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, give us a thumbs up, and let us know what you think of this video. Alright everyone, let's talk about AHS down below.